Alright, how we do, folks? Your boy, Marks on 205 numbers after their name, the classic, the staple. I think the first video I ever posted on my channel, which I think was a nuke, Wasteland Wednesday. This is the murder game. This is where we lay down the law, the smackdown, where we prove everybody that we still got it. And it's kind of interesting going into Black Ops 6 because I didn't play Modern Warfare 3. I played the hell out of Modern Warfare 2, got all the camos, posted tons of good footage. Don't think I ever got a nuke on it. Did I? No, Cold War was the last one I got a nuke on, I think. I think so. I gotta go double check. I gotta go double check the footage. But anyway, I posted a ton of good gameplay on Modern Warfare 2. Play the hell out of it. I don't know if I was gonna say liked it. Yeah, I'm gonna overall say liked it because I kept playing and I did enjoy my time with it. But would I put it up there as one of my favorite or best Call of Duties? No, not anywhere near that. But it was a very enjoyable game. And now we have Treyarch, who've been working on this game for years, even though it is the Infinite War or the Modern Warfare engines. First time using it. There's a lot going into this game. But I've always been a big Treyarch guy, so to me it was like, okay, let's see what we got over here, Black Ops 6. Once again, beta weekend, so there's a lot of things could change from actual release, or things could be exactly the same. The big change is obviously the Omni movement system, how everything kind of flows. You'll notice in this gameplay, I'm not really using it a crazy amount. There is some more sliding that you would ever see in any footage if you watch any of my older gameplays. That's just simply not happening. I do enjoy that part of it. I'm not sure I enjoy the diving around stuff and all that. Seems a little bit, I don't know, just a little bit too much for me. But I do think if I could ever master the skill, especially of diving backwards, I think that could be really helpful. If you're in a gunfight and you just want to get out of it and you can just dive backwards real quickly or dive left or dive right to get into cover, I think that's really handy. The problem I have with some of that, though, is just the time to kill in this game, which feels really, really, really fast. I think it's a little bit faster than Cold War is kind of the official answer of where it lies. And Cold War was your typical Treyarch kind of thing, maybe a little bit faster than Black Ops 2, just feeling-wise. I can't put it numerically. But this one, it feels a lot more Modern Warfare-ish, man. And the weird thing is, and this is always just a typical complaint that everybody has when playing Call of Duty, is the inconsistency. I sometimes feel like I get annihilated in a split second. Like, I just see somebody and I'm dead, and I'm like, whoa. And then other times I feel like I'm putting in bullets into somebody and I'm like, what's going on? Like, what, like what's happening here? That right there, that happened, for example, an example of that. Now, I am using an SMG in this map. That was a little bit longer range engagement. I'm not sure how many hits to kill you need for that, but maybe you need 5 or 6. So he may have got me with an AR. I'm willing to live with that. But the time to kill for me feels just a tad bit too quick for a Treyarch game. Compound that with the wild movement that you're seeing. It's kind of crazy, and I'm curious to see when we get into... There's two parts. I'm curious to see when we all get into a better place, we're all a little more comfortable doing it. And there, maybe we could judge, more so, like, how the movement kind of is. Because after all, like, these are just a couple people playing on beta weekend. We're all kind of learning it. Having said that, you also, in theory, in the beta, have, I don't want to say the cream of the crop, the people that are most interested in the game, the people that maybe will have the higher skill set kind of thing. So I don't know if it's fully a barometer for when this game actually launches, who's going to be on it. Take that for what it's worth. It does there's a learning curve to it for sure. Like, it's not plug and play. I don't know how to really describe it. You could still do well, as you're seeing, with your regular Call of Duty gameplay, even though I haven't started off that great this match, I'm not gonna lie. Flip over, yeah, it's quicker than reloaded. You can still do well doing that and kind of using those kind of things. But obviously the Omni movement system adds a lot more than you could expect. You could also use the Omni movement system against people, which is something I was using a lot. There was a lot of me kind of waiting. You see me kind of playing this rock over here a little bit. And I'm basically just buying myself some time. Fortunately here, I just missed that. I'm buying myself some time as I'm reloading and kind of seeing, just letting people go by me too, as they kind of like fly around and do all that kind of stuff. So the big change is kind of the core gameplay of it. I don't know. I'm a little bit torn between it. It's here to stay. Obviously, it's not going away. I'm sure they could tweak certain things to it. I personally would prefer a slower pace kind of game, but whatever. It's here to stay. It's perfectly fine. I almost compared it when I was describing it to a buddy of mine of just like a Black Ops 3, but no flying, right? Like, you're able to do a lot of these like movements that maybe you did in advanced or more advanced movement type games, but there's not necessarily any flying around kind of things. And that's me who very, very novice. I played this maybe 5 or 6 hours on Saturday. I'm recording this on Monday morning. I'm hoping to get maybe an hour or two in today at some point, and that's pretty much it. I'll play it the next beta weekend and see how it goes. A couple issues I had as well with the beta while we're on that subject matter. Lag, it might not be the necessary word, but sometimes the game just chugs a little bit. And I'm just like, what's going on? I'm going to chalk that up to it's a beta, and who knows? But it did seem odd to me. Just want to point that out. There was a lot of games that just crashed and ended. I presume that's just a beta thing, so I wasn't tripping about it. Weirdly, though, it did feel like, man, I was like, I'm having a good game. There was one where I literally got the bloodthirsty. It was like en route to getting this like chopper or whatever, not chopper, but the Helo Scout, whatever that like kind of escort drone type thing is. Like I maybe needed 1 or 2 more kills, and then the game just like completely crashed, and I was like, okay, cool. A lot of updating as well, which whatever. It's a beta. It's a Call of Duty game. I don't know. The whole putting the Black Ops 6 behind the Call of Duty app thing is a little bit weird. I don't know. It just seems unnecessary to have to log into one thing or log into the other thing. It is cool that you could pick what you install. I do enjoy that because, for example, I'm not playing Warzone, so why would I install that? I'll install the campaign, and then maybe I'll get rid of it because after I play it once, I kind of don't tend to go back. I do the achievements and stuff like that. And once that's over, it's very rarely do I go back unless I go years later. So it's cool that you're able to kind of do that, or else like the file size is just like ridiculous. So yeah, the consistency of that a little bit. The balancing of some of the weapons with a little bit like this PDW thing that I kind of have here, the semi or the submachine gun. It seemed to be a pretty damn good gun compared to everything else. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it was just how I felt about it. Maybe it was just how I landed on my hands, and I kind of was like, oh man, this thing like melts. So, you know, the typical kind of things. We don't have a full array of kill streaks, so I can't judge that. It does seem things are pretty pricey. Like UAVs like $600 or $625 or $650 or something like that. You have the personal UAV for a little bit cheaper. Seems a little bit pricey, but hey, you know, I haven't gotten a full sense of how to master getting points and stuff like that yet in this game, and what provides that and everything along those lines. You have your typical assortment of attachments and everything else. The gunsmith is very clean. The UI in this game, to me, is very, very clean. I love all the quality of life stuff that they added into the game. Very, very simple stuff. Like when you die, it tells you who killed you and how many hits and how much damage. Perfect. Love it. Love it. Gone are the days one thing, but like, what the hell happened? Who did I die? Even sometimes when you watch a kill cam, you'll be like, what? That killed you? But now you can see, hey, you got shot by like 3 people there. And you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense why I like died so quickly then. Things like that, to me, really add a lot to the experience. Try to think of more quality of life stuff. There's a bunch of them like that you'll notice. Or they're being able to move everything in the HUD, although I kind of kept mine pretty static for now. I am going to play around with that. There are way too many customization options, which I think is cool. I think it's great. I will sink my teeth into it, probably more in the base game than not. But it's a lot of customization kind of stuff. And a lot of like, hey, do you want a mantle like automatically? Do you not want a mantle? Your dead zones. But everything is in there. And it's cool, too, to see, because even when Modern Warfare 2 came out, I can't speak of Modern Warfare 3, but it seemed to be that way as well, which is part of the reason that it swayed me. But when Modern Warfare 2 came out, it seemed like just, the game just wasn't finished. There was a lot of stuff that you'd be like, hey, man, like, what's going on here? And what's this? And why are this not here? They're barracks, like simple stuff like that. And you could see that, like, this game, I hope not to be wrong when it actually comes out, but it's way ahead of the curve on that, which, by the way, shouldn't be anything too crazy to ask for. It's just basic Call of Duty stuff. But for some reason, we haven't gotten it in the past couple of years, so I don't know. It's cool to see that, like, a lot of those things are already in here. A lot of those things are working in those systems. This is one of the things I forgot to mention in terms of the HUD movement that I really, really like is the prone system, right? Because being prone before, you pretty much just stuck. You were like, that's it. You were there. But here, you're able to maneuver and go 360, and I'm not sure if there's footage here of me doing it in this one, but there have been a couple games where I will like kind of go prone and be able to like turn around and be like, oh, someone's coming to my right. Let me just look over to my right while I'm prone. Maybe it makes it a little bit easier to headshot. Maybe not. Maybe people are looking a little bit higher up, so you're actually getting an advantage by that. So a lot of factors that go into whether that works or not into your favor. But I think having that option is really cool. And I think if you combine that with the jumping backward thing, like I said, I think those kind of things for very players like myself who I could see myself using the Omni movement system, but very, I don't know, not being crazy. I'm not jumping around sideways. I saw cats in the map that has like a skyscraper thing, just jumping sideways off of roofs, onto pools and stuff. I struggle to think that you'll see that on the channel on a Wasteland Wednesday. Who knows? Maybe you will. But oof. Another quality of life right here that I've really liked is the kill streaks that you can kind of see how they're wrapping up. Still very UAV. I would, it'd always be one of the worst feelings when you're maybe like sneaking up on an enemy and got the UAV up and you're like, all right, let's see what's happening over here. And then all of a sudden, like the UAV just runs out. The horrible moment. You're like, what? How? No, it's really cool that if you're able to kind of stay alive and see that like kind of tick down. Love that kind of thing. Little things like that, really to me, like shows that like, hey, they spent a lot of time on this game outside of like the gameplay. The maps themselves are fine, I will say. I can't say any of them stood out to me. This one was probably my favorite one. I think it's Derelict, maybe. Don't quote me on that. But this one was probably my favorite one out of the 4 in the beta. Scud's okay, too. None of them definitely stood out to me like a firing range or anything like that. But that's a matter of time, right? The spawns are also very weird and very flaky, and I hope they get improved because they are all over the place, honestly, in some senses. I mean, cats are just spawning on cats sometimes, and you're pinned down and domination and hard points sometimes and spawn, so... and this map is very guilty of that. So overall, very positive about the game, but there's a learning curve and there's a lot to be done and said for how I feel about it.